have taken one question and which some data is given, and students often confused with this kind of data while solving this question in exam. That's why I've taken this question. Question is, 10 years ago, the average age of all the 25 teachers of a college was 45 years. 4 years ago, the principal has retired from her post at the age of 60 years. So after 1 year, new principal whose age was 54 years recruited from outside. Find present average age of all the teachers. Condition is given. Principal is also considered as teacher. Let me explain you question first. Suppose this is the college and it is given 10 years ago. 10 years ago, there were 25 teachers in the college and the average age of all the teachers was 45. Then 4 years ago, principal left the college and whose age was 60 years. Okay, he retired from the college. Then after 1 year, that means 3 years from this time, 3 years ago, one new principal was recruited and his age was 54 years. Our question is, we have to find average age of all teachers at present. Okay, we have to find the average age of all the teachers at present. I think you have got the question. Now I recommend you to pause this video and solve this question by your own. Then only look for the solution. Okay, now I'm solving this question. Let us assume that the present time is 2009. That means time at present is 2009. And if I say about 10 years ago, it will be 1999. Okay, so in this question, we have to find present average age of all the teachers. That means we have to know the sum of the age of all the teachers at present in order to calculate its average. Okay, so from this data given, we must try to find the sum of the age of all the teachers at present. Okay, so if I ask you what is the sum of the age of all the teachers 10 years ago, at that time there were 25 teachers and the average age was 45 years. So I can say the sum of the age of the teachers 25 years ago was 25 into 45, which will come out to be 1125. This should be clear, okay? Because this has come from the basic formula of averages only. Now what? In 2009 is the present time, and it says that in the question, is given in the question 4 years ago, that is 2005. In 2005, a principal retired from the college and his age was 60 years. So again in 2005 we have to calculate the sum of the age of the teachers first. In 2005, the time between 1995 and 2005 is 6 years. Okay, this 6 years, and there were 25 teachers. So the age of each teacher will increase by 6 years. So and there were 25 teachers. So the net change in the sum of the age of all the teachers will be 150 years. That is 6 into 25. That is 150. Okay. Now what? In 2005, one principal has left the college. Hence, I have to subtract 60 years because his age was 60 years. So ultimately, in 2005, the sum of the age of all the teachers will be 1215. Okay, this I have to add and this I have to subtract, and the sum of the age will come out to be 1215. Now what? After 2005, in 2006. One new principal was recruited and his age was 54 years. Okay, and from 2005 to 2006 the duration is of 1 year and there were 24 teachers. Okay, and the age of all the teachers will be increased by 1 year. Okay, as the gap is 1 year, so I have to add 24 in order to reach to 2006, and then I have to add 54. So that I could get the sum of the age of all the teachers in 2006. So from here I'll get the sum of age of all the teachers in 2006. It will come out to be 1293. Okay, this is the sum of the age of all the teachers in 2006. Now what? We have to find a present sum of the age of all the teachers in 2009. That means the duration is 3 years and the number of teacher now is 25. Okay, and each teacher, the age of each teacher will increase by 3 years and the number of teachers are there 25. So net increase will be 75. Therefore, in order to reach to get the present age, I have to add 75 to this and it will come out to be 8631. 1368 is the sum of age of all the teachers at present. Okay, so in order to calculate the average, we have to divide 1368 by 25 as the number of teachers is 25. From here you will get the value to be 54.72 years. Hence the average age of all the teachers at present is 54.72 years. This question was very simple but little bit confusing. So don't confuse with this kind of questions. Just try to interpret what data is given and solve as per the requirement. Okay. Now I'm giving you some practice question. Try to solve it. Let's discuss one more question. I've taken this question to develop a logical understanding of averages. Our question is, out of 10 teachers of a school, one teacher retires and in his place a new teacher of age 25 years joins. As a result, average age of teachers reduces by 3 years. Find the age of retired teacher. Let me explain the question first. Question is, there is a school and in this school there are 10 teachers. Okay. And from this 10 teacher, one teacher retires and one new teacher joins the school. And the age of new teacher who joins the school is given to be 25 years. By this, the overall net change in the average age of all the 10 teachers is minus 10 years. That means the average age has been reduced by 3 years. Okay. Our question is, we have to find the age of the teacher who has left the school. That means the age of this teacher. Okay. I'll solve this question by two methods. One by basic approach and another by logical approach. Okay. Let us assume that the average age of the teacher is to be X. That means the average age of the teacher before the teacher has left the school was X. Okay. And if I ask you the sum of the age, I have to multiply it by 10 because there were 10 teachers and the average age was X. Now what? One teacher has left the school. That means I am assuming the age of this teacher to be Y. This teacher has left the school. And one new teacher whose age is 25 years has joined the school. This is the sum of the age of all the 10 teachers now. Now what? In order to find its average, I'll divide it by 10. Okay, so this is the present average age of all the teachers and it is given to be 3 years less than the earlier average. Earlier average I have assumed to be X, now it is reduced by 3 years, so I am writing it X minus 3. Now I will solve for Y. I can write it like this, 10x minus of Y plus of 25 is equal to 10x minus of 30 and from here Y will come out to be 55 years. Hence I can say the age of the retired teacher is 55 years. This is the basic approach. You can solve the question by basic approach also or by some logical understanding also. Let's see that logical understanding. Suppose there are 10 teachers in the school and if I say let the average age be anything, X, Y, Z, anything, it doesn't matter. Okay. And if I say if I am changing the average age of the teachers by 1 year, that means I am giving 1 year to all the teachers. Okay. That means I am increasing the age of all the teachers by 1 year. Then I will say the net change in the sum of the age of all the teachers will be 10 years. That is 1 into 10, as the number of the teachers is 10 and I am changing average by 1 years. So the net change in the sum of the age of all the teachers will be 1 years. Since there is change of 3 years in the average value here, so I can say that the net change in the sum of the age of all the teachers will be 30 years. 3 to 10, 30 years. Okay. So this is the net change of the sum of the age of all the teachers. Okay. But this is the net change after we have compensated with the new teacher of 25 years. If there would have been no new teacher, the net change would have been like this, 20 plus 25, like 55 years. Okay. But because of this, this teacher, the net change has again reduced and it has come to 30. So for getting the age of the teacher who has retired, I have to add 25 to 30 and I'll get the age of the retired teacher, which is 55 years. This logical approach may take some time to understand, but it is not recommended. It is not necessary to learn this, understand this. You can solve the question by basic also. That would not create any differences. Now I'm giving you one practice question. Try to solve it, and then I'll take some more questions on averages. Let's discuss one more question. This question can be solved by basic method and also by logical understanding. Question is, the average score of Sachin after 48 innings is 48 runs. And in the 49th inning, Sachin scores 97 runs. Find the minimum number of runs that Sachin must score in 50th inning so that his average after 50th inning is increased by 2 runs than it was before. Question is, suppose this is the data card of Sachin and it is given in 48 innings. His average score was 48 runs. This is the average score of 48. Average score after the 48th inning. After 49th inning, in 49th inning, he made 97 runs. He scored 97 runs. In 50th inning, he want his score his average score to be increased by 2 runs. That means by his previous average. That means the average when it was after 49th inning. He wants his average to be increased by 2 runs. Okay. So thus he wants to make some runs. So question is, how much run he must score in 50th inning so that his average is increased by 2 runs. Okay. We have to find the score he should made in the 50th inning. Okay. I think I've got the question. Now I'm solving it. Since the average score of Sachin after 48 innings is 48 runs, so I can find his total runs scored after 48th inning. That means this is the sum of all the scores of 48th inning. This is the runs which Sachin made after 48th inning, total runs. Okay. Now in the 49th inning, in the next match, he scored 97 runs. So if I divide it by 49, I'll get his average after 49th inning. Okay. And also I can calculate this value by simple logic also. Suppose he scored 48, his average was 48 runs in the 49th, after the 48th inning. In the 49th inning, he scored 97 runs. If I ask you, in order to maintain his average score, he must score at least 48 runs, because earlier his average was 48, and if he wants to maintain his average, he has to score 48 runs. But he has made 49 runs extra, because 48 plus 49 is 97. That means he had scored 49 runs extra than his average score. And this extra score can be distributed to all the 49 innings. Okay. And if I distribute this 49 runs in all the innings, that is in the 49 innings equally, then each inning will get 1 run. That means his average score will increase by 1 runs and the new average will become 49. Okay. And if I calculate the value after 49th inning from this also, this value will come out to be 49. If you want to solve it, you can easily solve it. The 48 into 48 is 2804 or 2304 plus of 24 plus of 97, and if I divide by 49, it will be like 2401 by 49 and its value will come out to be 49. Okay, so the value will come same. Okay, after 49th inning his average score is now 49. Now Sachin wants to score some runs in 50th inning so that his average is increased by 2 runs than his previous average. His previous average is 49 runs. He wants to increase his average by 2 runs. That means he wants to make his new average to 51. Okay. So after 50th match, Sachin wants to make his average 51. So if I ask you how much total run after 50th match Sachin should make, will be equal to 50 into 51, because this is the number of match played and this is the average. So this much run Sachin should make after 50th inning. Okay, this much run Sachin should make after 50th inning. And if I ask you how much run Sachin has scored before that 50th inning, Sachin has scored 2401 run, because the value of this has come out to be 2401. This and this was 2401. That means in the 50th inning he has to score the remaining run, that is 149 runs. Therefore the answer of this question is 149 runs. Sachin should score 149 runs in the 50th match so that his average would increase by 2 runs than it was before. We can also solve this question by logical understanding also. Now Sachin wants to increase his average by 2 runs. That means he wants to make his average to 51, and if he wants to maintain his average in the 50th inning of 49 runs, if he wants to maintain his average, he has to make 49 runs, and in order to increase his average by 2 runs, he has to increase 2 runs in all the innings. That means he has to give 2 runs to all the innings. That means we have to multiply 2 into 50 runs. That means he has to make 2 into 50 runs more than the normal average score, and it will come out to be 100, and the total score will be 149. That means Sachin has to score 149 runs after 50th in the 15th inning to increase his average by 2 runs. Okay, I think you have got the question by both the method. I'm moving to some other question, but before that, try to solve this practice question. Till now, I have tried my best to cover up all the topics related to averages, and I have covered all the basic topics of averages and I have taken most of the question. But just because of time constraint, I am not discussing all the questions here, so I am uploading one practice tutorial on my website, that is www.thinkinthinking.in. You can download that tutorial from my website and you can solve that questions for more practice. Okay. Here I have taken the last question of this video. This question is not for calculating answer. This question is just for reminding you of the concept which I have already discussed. As I will be using that concept in upcoming topics. The question is, the average of 7 consecutive numbers which are positive integer is 10. Find the average of lowest and highest such number. Question is, there is set of numbers and they are 7 consecutive positive integers, okay, and their average is given to be 10. We have to find the average of lowest and highest number, average of lowest and the highest numbers. Okay, suppose that series is A, the next term will be A plus 1 as it is consecutive term, then the third term is A plus 2, fourth term will be A plus 3, and similarly seventh term will be A plus 6. In order to calculate its average, I I can add up all this and divide it by 7 and I'll get the value to be 10, okay, as it is given. But if you look at carefully, it is the AP, arithmetic progression also. And in the question, what value we have to find? We have to find the value of lowest number plus of highest number divided by 2. Because this is the only average of lowest and highest number. I have to calculate this value. And if you look at this series will look like this series is arithmetic progression, A plus D, A plus 2D and so on. So this is arithmetic progression. And I have already told you that the average of arithmetic progression can be calculated by calculating the average of last two terms, that is the lowest terms. So not last two terms, the lowest term and the highest term. The lowest term is A and the highest term is A plus 6. Okay, we can calculate the average of this whole series by finding the average of first term and the last term. So in this question we have to find the same value, and the average of this whole series is given to be 10. So I can say its average will come out, the value of this equation will come out to be 10 also. So from this you can solve, you can get the value of this expression orally. Okay. This concept can be used in many other chapters. Okay, so I have discussed this. I think you have got this, and now I'm giving you one more practice question on this topics. Okay, and then I'll end up this video.